Happy Tuesday, everybody. Hope you're all having a good day, a good week so far. Out here in the desert, the weather's that wacky fall weather, nice 60-degree weather in the morning and 95 by the afternoon. So 30-degree swing in temperatures out here. Kind of funny, actually. So, but hopefully it'll be stabilizing here within the next month, I hope. Hopefully we're not going to have 100-degree weather over Thanksgiving like we always have in the past. But I'm just grateful to be here. Beautiful weather. Not freezing snow, not freezing rain. Just 300 plus days of sunshine. I guess we're blessed to have that. We'll wait just a few minutes to see who clicks on. Kind of got to fit these in when I can right now. My schedule has gotten extremely busy. Topeka and I have started these workshops at the Torres Martinez Reservation. We're there 3 days a week and planning and developing workshops on the other, at least one of those other days that we have off, and then try to get our own stuff done on another day. But things are starting to move forward in different ways. Again, this is this FaceTime or live Facebook. It's a hard game to figure out. Don't know the best time of day to do it yet. It's in the evening time, early morning, or the afternoon. So even after this is not gone live, it's going to be up. And I would really appreciate those that have been watching this or mine and Topeka's on Love Your Life Story. Give us the time. Hey, Lupe, if you feel there's a time that's better, we're open for suggestions, and I'm open for suggestions. Okay, I know you can watch us anytime you want. Plus, I also put it on my YouTube channel as well. So that being said, if you missed what I talked about last week, like I said, I'm tired of hearing all the negative stuff about abuse out there, about the problems, and about perpetrators need to be killed and this and that. And so if you missed that conversation, it's on my YouTube channel, Healing the Man Within. Just go on YouTube and Google and put that in there, and then you can look at all my past videos that are up there about all the stuff I talk about. That'll get you caught up to where we're going today. Today we're going to start talking about what is a solution. Because here I am saying we got to talk about the solution, but so what is that solution, Randy? Well, the one thing that we have to do, I'll get to the solution, but the one thing that we have to do is we have to quit the hating, the anger, the resentment, and wanting to kill or hurt the perpetrator, because it does absolutely nothing to resolve the problem. Besides, put the perpetrator away. I read a post this week by somebody on, I believe it was in the National Association of Adult Survivors of Child Abuse, and it's by Janine Staples. It says, you can't fix yourself by breaking someone else. You can't fix yourself by breaking someone else. So, yes, I agree the perpetrators need to face justice, whatever that justice is in the eyes of the law of the land. The ultimate justice will come when they stand in front of God and they got to answer to him. Okay? And I know a lot of you cringe at the word God. If there was a God, he wouldn't allow this to happen. And I understand that, and I used to think that way too, but God's actually a loving, kind, caring God, and God didn't do it to you. God gave man free will, and therefore man did. So we have to leave the punishment of the perpetrators solely up to the law, the universe, karma, most importantly to God. No matter what we do, it's not going to, that kind of action is not going to solve or heal our soul wound. Hurting or killing the perpetrator will only cause you and your family much more emotional pain. Look, I'm married, and I used to plot my stepfather's assassination on a daily basis. God was doing for me what I couldn't do for myself. I'm married. I have children. I have a house. I've had a business. I had life on the outside was actually really good. I'd accomplished everything that I ever wanted to accomplish. Inside, I was done. I was a mess. Had I taken that kind of action with my stepfather, had I have killed him, had I have done any of that, had I have hurt him, the reality is, yes, he would be dead. Yes, he would be whatever. But the reality is, I would still be struggling and suffering with the effects of that abuse. Not only would I be in the emotional prison that I'd be in, that I'd already been in, it had got worse because now I'd be in a physical prison locked behind bars where I couldn't see my family, couldn't conduct my business. So the physical prison added to the emotional prison I was living in, take the emotional prison now that I live in, because what I did actually made it worse for myself and my family. I hope people can see that. I understand wanting to hurt the perpetrator. We were hurt deeply. Hurt people. I am not condoning it at all. And they need to pay the price. Our justice system needs to relook at the way they treat these perpetrators. They need to go away for a very long time. They're hurt people, okay? They probably had the same thing happen to them that's happened to you, that's happened to me. The difference is that they stay stuck in their victimhood. They never got help for it. And it's the attitude, well, it happened to me. It's no big deal if I do it to somebody else. That doesn't hurt nobody, okay? So holding on to that hate, anger, rage, resentment, and wanting to harm or kill the perpetrator will not heal the deep soul wound within us, okay? In fact, there's scientific research right now that tells us that some cancer, some diseases like cancer, Crohn's disease, fibromyalgia, diabetes, and many other diseases are a direct result of unresolved childhood trauma, or as Kaiser Permanente with the ACEs test will call them, the adverse childhood experiences that are left unresolved. So hurting a perpetrator, okay, is not gonna heal those wounds. It just can't. They're soul wounds. We have to address those soul wounds, okay? In fact, I can tell you this as well too, that most our addictions, 80 to 90% of people in facilities, our addictions are a direct result of unresolved childhood trauma or the ACEs, adverse childhood experiences. In fact, Daniel Sumrock just came out with an article. He says, you want to solve the opiate problem. If you want to solve the opiate problem, then we have to start addressing these adverse childhood experiences as well as our unresolved childhood trauma, which are two and the same. So you got Dr. Gabor Mate. Look up their work. Dr. Gabor Mate, he's from, I follow him. The guy is, in my opinion, he's a genius at this. He's done a lot of work on it. It wears on him. You can see it. Dr. Daniel Sumrock, there's Lance Dodds and Bessel van der Kolk's work. You can check all their work out for further information on this. So this is not, I'm just not pulling this out of thin air. This is stuff that I know and is supported by these doctors, okay? So then, what's the first step? What's the first step in healing and moving forward with our life? It's complete 100% surrender. We must accept the fact that the abuse happened to us, and nothing that we do today will change that fact. It happened. It's over with. It happened years ago. I'm not discounting it. Believe me, I'm a survivor. I know the pain that it is that's there with it. But we can't change the fact. Holding on to anger and resentment and all those emotions, all they do is they eat at our soul. They eat at our soul. So we have to first surrender to the fact, okay, the number one most important step in starting the healing process is to surrender completely to the fact that it happened to us and we had absolutely nothing to do with it. It was not our fault. And this is just the first step. Remember, if we're not accepting, we're fighting. If we're not accepting, we're fighting. I don't know about you, but those mental wars, those emotional wars are awful wearing. I fought it for a very long time. And when I finally surrendered to the fact that, hey, it happened to me, it wasn't right what happened to me, it wasn't my fault, it's not who I am today, it never did define who I was. When I was able to surrender and start working towards my healing process, I quit fighting. And when I quit fighting, I was finally able to rest. So how did I surrender? I was sick and tired of being sick and tired all the time. I was sick and tired of this constant emotional battle I had in my head. I had a wife, I had a kid, I was successful in life, but yet I was never happy. I was sick and tired of always blaming everybody else for what was going on in my life. And I was just sick and tired of being sick and tired. And when I got to that place, I said, I can't do this by myself no more. I'm tired of fighting this. I don't want to live this way no more. I do not want to live this way no more. I need help. And I started reaching out for help. And all these things I told you, you got to surrender. It's not your fault. The perpetrators, they're hurt people. They hurt people. Look at their lives. I mean, this is the big deal for me, and I'll talk more about this later, is that when my therapist set me down and started talking about what was my perpetrator's childhood and life like, I didn't want to hear it. But when I surrendered to what she was telling me and I listened to it, all of a sudden I was empathetic. Because what I was going through, how much more was he going through? How much worse was his childhood to do what he had to do? I'm not condoning it. It was wrong. But in a lot of ways, we're no better than our perpetrators when we start talking about wanting to harm them. Because what are we doing? We're wanting to hurt them because we were hurt. And I said this on a Facebook page that I belong to with sexual abuse survivors. How about we pray for the healing for those that have harmed us that we want in our own lives? Boy, did that raise some eyebrows. How about we start praying for our perpetrators that they get the healing that we want in our own lives? Hate begets hate. I know it's hard. I've been in the shoes of a lot of you. I didn't want to do this. You don't know what that man did to me. You don't know what my mom did to me. But it was their own pain. I don't have to live the way they told me I had to live anymore. I didn't have to live underneath the hand of their abuse on a constant basis. Okay? So when I decided to surrender, I fought. It's part of the process. But as much as I fought, I gave in because I was tired. And I told myself, whatever I have to do to have a better life, I am going to do. Was it easy? Absolutely not. It was horrifying. It was hard. But I tell you, it was worth it. So step one, surrender and accept the fact that the abuse happened, and in no way are you to blame for the abuse. Okay? So next week I'll talk about step two. I'm not going to reveal what that is yet, but I'll give step two next week. Any questions or any comments, please feel free to share them. You know what, if you want any coaching on this, check out my coaching website, changeyourlifestorynow.com. You can click on the contact and send me a contact form, and in the comment box, just tell me you want to talk about coaching or whatever it is. So you can't do this alone. That's the one thing I would tell you. You absolutely cannot do this healing process by yourself. You need to be surrounded by people that will show you that you are worthy, that you are lovable, that you are loved, okay? You need a good, positive community surrounding you. So through coaching with me, that can happen. So visit my website, changeyourlifestorynow.com, or you can also check out courageoushealers.org. Also get my book, Healing the Wounded Child Within. Healing the Wounded Child Within. There's a lot of action steps in there, a lot of guidance on how you can heal from the wounds of sexual, physical, emotional, and spiritual abuse. And you can get that on Amazon.com. If you go to either one of my web pages, just go to my books, and it's got a direct link to Amazon to get the book. So I'd highly encourage you to get that book. Okay, so that's step one, surrender and accept the fact that the abuse happened. In no way are you to blame. Okay, next week we step two. So until then, everybody have a marvelous week. If nobody has told you they love you today, remember Randy does, but more importantly, God does. You are worth it. Take the action. You take the action to heal your soul wounds. You are worth it. You're lovable and you're loved. You all be blessed. Have a great week. Bye-bye.